Hello, hello, hello. Do you want to learn more about oxygen included? Do you want to learn more about rocketing? Well, I've got this tutorial for you. Here we're going to discuss more about the rocket modules, not the rocket itself, but the rocket modules and how you can basically build it in your advantage. We're going to start with the basics to get data banks, and it's all with this machine, the Orbital Data Collection Lab. So here I made some rocket with very basic. So we got the carbon dioxide engine and we got the solo nose cone, the Spacefarer nose cone. This is very easy to build in very early game, and the sole purpose of this is to get data banks. Yes, to get these things, data banks. You see, it's very simple. Just put an outhouse on top of tiles. Here I made plastic just for a little bit protection of radiation. You put Orbit Data Collection Lab on your right and battery on your left together with a ladder. Now I use the suit bug. It's an exploit, I know. Basically the exploit is when there's no oxygen in the suit, the dupe will take off his hat and just breathe air, gasping for air, but he will not consume it. He will not consume any gas. Just make sure that you have just put oxygen in here, and the pressure is always going to be the same. Oxygen will not be consumed. So if you don't like this bug, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. You do need modules for that, but later information about this. So what you're doing basically, you send this on the orbit, you send it away, you send it away, begin launch. There you go, rocket is launched. We got liftoff. Let's see, yeah, there's a save in the middle. We've got liftoff. It's in orbit now, and if we look in the rocket, yeah, little Meep will make some data banks. So just set this off on forever. He's gonna grab the plastic, put it in, and make data banks. I've got food, I've got dirt for the outhouses. I got plastic for the data bank collection lab, and he will do this forever. But of course, power is limited. So what I basically do, I tell him to deconstruct this. Oh, yeah, it's debug. I'm going to tell him to deconstruct this, place a manual generator, a hamster wheel, and when the power is done, he's gonna run on the wheel and continue making data banks. And this is going to go forever. Until he's got no food. But the most thing is, I think, is stress. You can't really give him a lot of skills because he's going to be stressed out. So you have to send him back to de-stress, or if you don't have dirt or plastic anymore. Now he's in orbit. If you want to send him back to the planetoid, if you want to send him back to the planetoid, just deconstruct this again and replace it with the module, the control station. And that's it for our first rocket. Very basic, very easy. Here in our next rocket we go a little bit further, so we got a little bit more space. We use the module, it's a bit more advanced, but it's very easy. And this rocket is designed for exploration of the space of the star map, and also collecting some data banks in meanwhile. So here we have more rooms. We designed barracks, washroom and great hall, so that the dupe can have a stress-free life, basically stress-free, because he's still gasping for air. He still needs, I still use the suit I get. So to go through the rooms, we've got the barracks. It's very easy, where I put in the data bag collection lab. The washroom, I put in a wall toilet and connected this with a lot of piping. This just make sure you have a lot of buffer and you don't need to worry about running out of water. For the Great Hall I put here the rocket control station and telescope. That doesn't infect the room bonus, so this together with the jumbo battery, it's only the manual generators that can make sure that your dupe is basically that the room is still existent. What I place here as well, look at the electricity. So I got a wall socket connected to the with the hamster wheel to just to make sure we've got plenty of power, and if we run out of power, the dupe can still run on the wheel. Um, First, what I do is I set the priority of research in here in this tab. I put the priority of research very high so that he's going to telescope first, and if he's done all the exploration of your map, I send him to do some data bank collection lab, and you can set this up with a drill cone. Let's look at our rocket. So this is a rocket. You can set this up with a drill cone, so while you're drilling, you can't see 3 tiles high, 3 tiles further. That's way your dupe is not wasting time. If you explore everything, if you have enough data banks, he's still running on the wheel and get his exercise done. Like you see here, this drill cone is filled up with diamond, with 1,000 kilograms of diamond. And I can drill 20,000 of resources. This cargo bay only holds 12,000, but in my module I put here a conveyor loader fitting together with a conveyor chute that makes sure all the debris, all the resources that you drill going directly into your rocket, so you don't have to worry about that. I put a refrigerator just for food stuff, and this is really not needed. I can deconstruct this and put in a storage bin where you can put different stuff in it, like dirt or bleach stone for your hand sanitizer. It doesn't really matter. Or perhaps plastic. Yeah, plastic is maybe the best thing to put in here, so that the dupes manually put the plastic in here. But basically what I do is I fill it up with plastic, I drop it on the floor, and then I use the move it tool with this just to place it here near the data collection lab, so that your dupe don't have to run up and down. So that's the next, that's this rocket. It's fairly explanatory. There's nothing really hard about this. So let's go to the next rocket. So this is our next rocket, and this is the first rocket I show you where you don't use the suit bug. So we have here a atmosuit checkpoint with a dock, and every time a dupe will get in here, he's going to drop his suit dock, his atmosuit, doing his stuff, and when he exits the module, he's going to grab his suit. You have to make sure you have extra suits on your ship, so it's best if you spawn some atmosuits in here, just to have a little bit of reserve, because if this is worn out, your dupe is basically stuck in your rocket. So just make sure that you place it with the move it tool or something, just that you have enough atmosuits in your module. This has the same room setup: washroom, barracks, and great hall. This is a little bit different because we don't have the telescope anymore. So this is basically not for not for research anymore. You can spice this up a little bit with more planting pots, with the painting if you want. There's still room left for different stuff, like you can put this in just to give the dupe a little bit more decor and a little bit more morale. If you don't really care about all of this, you can eventually get a telescope in here as well. just if you modify this with this, you still have you still have wait you still have the mess hall. You don't have the great hall, but only a mess hall. But you can explore a little bit uh, instead of your morale. There's different setups. Piping of the wall toilet is the same, but of course we have to have oxygen supply, because this dupe will now consume the oxygen. And here I use oxalate, so I just put a bin with 1000 kilograms of oxalate. That's enough for a dupe for a long time, and it will consume. Now I put here a mini pump. This mini pump is connected with a filter, a mechanical filter. If you don't really know it, it's with a gas valve where you set it on 0.1 grams per second, 100 milligrams, and if you bridge it on, you make basically a filter. So the filter is connected with the Atmos suit dock. So if we undock this one and deliver suit, it should be working. There you suit. It consumes oxygen, and the oxygen is supplied, and the carbon dioxide is filtered and leaves the rocket. Yeah, this is very slow with the micro gas pump, but basically this dupe doesn't really need to go out and in that much. It's not really designed to go and explore rockets, planetoids. It's more for drilling purposes. If you want to go faster, you can deconstruct this and place a large gas pump to just yeah, just to make sure the suits are filled up easily. Here you don't have enough power. You don't really have enough power. You can, as the previous one, you can replace this one with a manual generator. It doesn't really affect the other rooms bonuses, so this is all possible. I did put here a little bit of automation. Let's look at the automation now. This is all connected with these high pressure of gas valve, because like this comes from our main planet. All these piping is just to have a stockpile of oxygen, so we don't really use a lot of the oxalate. And it's like I said, connected with some automation, and I connected with two Atmos sensors, one nearby and one far away, with the AND gate, so that it's set on 3500, because that's like the threshold that your dupe will not get popped eardrums, huge debuff. And I set one close and far away. That's way the oxygen gets time to move through the whole area. You should actually put a little bit airflow tiles in here, just to keep the carbon dioxide at the bottom, so that this pump will grab it, and eventually it will leave the rocket. But this is basically your rocket. If you don't want to use the suit bug, it requires more resources, but it's all doable. And that's for our next rocket. In here you see a rocket specially designed for exploration of other planetoids. Though there's a room for two dupes, two beds, two mess tables, a bathroom. The bathroom is all the same. It's just a lot of piping to have store enough water in your base. We've got our rooms, we got our barracks, we got our mess hall, and we got our washroom. Piping is a little bit more complex. It's also needed because here you really need a gas pump, because your dupes will enter and exit your module frequently, doing their job on the planets. So you really need a gas pump. So how this works, I use a mechanical filter the same as the other planet, the other module, but here I filter on oxygen. And I put a little bit more automation on this. And the automation is with a gas pipe element sensor connected to a NOT gate to connected to a buffer time with 10 seconds. And what this does, I'm trying to simulate this. Let me spawn a new suit. Deliver suits. Let's grab it. So now the pump is not activated. As you see, it's red, it's not activated. That's because this sensor senses oxygen. If this is sense oxygen, the pipe is full and your pump doesn't need to be activated. So now what will happen, the suit will be filled up with oxygen, this pipe will be emptying. Now on this moment this element sensor doesn't detect oxygen anymore. It will send a red signal, red turns into green and activates the pump. Now what happens, the pump activates and this sensor will detect oxygen again. Well, detects oxygen and he will want to send a red signal, but I keep this red signal, the green signal a little bit longer so that the pump doesn't really deactivate immediately. We just give it 10 seconds more just to fill up this pipe and don't fill up too much of it, because if the pump is still running it will send oxygen away and we don't want that. We don't want to waste our oxygen. I got several storage bins. I got one with the suits, I got one with oxalite. This you can also replace with oxygen diffuser if you want. If you have algae, just store algae nearby. It's all possible. I got another one here. You can place different stuff. What can you place? Yeah, like algae you can place in here. I got one refrigerator with food and one with rat bolts if you want, because like the radiation in this is not that great. So I use some plastic tiles to shield off, but not everything is shielded off. Also a quick note, these ladder beds, if you look at the ladder beds, is turned on. This is the main design. You can flip this, and it's important that you flip this in this rocket, because the dupes sleep on this tile, and in this tile dupes get 40 rats per cycle and on this 97. So it makes a difference if you turn this on or not. For power uses, that's a problem. Again, you can replace this one with your manual generator. You just need to connect this up, but you lose the room bonus with that. It's not a big deal, especially if you need power to run this pump. It's better that you just replace this module. Yeah. For other uses, I think I have said it all. I put some atmos sensors as well for the gas vent, so one close, one far away. You can spice it up a little bit with more furniture if you want. That's all possible. This is debug. You can spice it up a little bit more if you want. You can put a Joya seed in here. There's a lot of thing to do. I use especially carpeted tiles just for morale's sake. I like to give this, and morale's sake, it's very spiced up. Yeah, like you see, these are the places where the dupe are the most. So this is our next rocket, and I've got still one rocket to show. Our final rocket is here, and this is a rocket designed just especially for the max difficulty run. Here we got a layer of protection, plastic tiles, just to protect the dupes a little bit of the radiation. This is all doable, but with this layer you have to you have to sacrifice on rooms bonuses. So we still have our barracks, a washroom and mess hall. It's very compact. I got here the same system, same filter system, mechanical filter with connection with the gas valve, just to make sure that this pump isn't activated all the time. If you see the outlet sensor, it's element sensor, NOT gate, buffer gate, and connected to this gas pump. The same for the gas vent, one close by, one far away. That way the gases is distributed evenly. Here I used oxalate, but like I said, you can use an oxygen diffuser if you have enough algae on board. One refrigerator. You can put here your food and your basic Red Bulls, but no other storage bins. So you basically need to bring, if you want other stuff in it, you need to bring it from the outside with the move it tool. But yeah, like I said, if you want to sacrifice a lot of protection for your dupes, you need to sacrifice on some rooms. But I hope this is so a little bit the end of my explanation of my rockets. Feel free to comment, and if you have other questions, if we want to go deeply into this, I will likely respond to your message. I hope you find this a little bit interesting, and I hope to see you in the next episode or next video. So thank you for watching, and bye bye.